ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यं मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। Hare Krishna. We'll continue to read the Japa book by His Grace Purijan Prabhu. So we are in the Q&A session right now. While chanting the Mahamantra, my mind becomes like a vacuum and I don't know what to do with it. So I tend to look for things to stimulate me. This, of course, hampers or even halts my concentration. What should I do? Everything negative can become positive if we are conscious. Actually, it is our duty to make them positive. If we have no taste for the holy name, if our heart and mind are empty when we chant, or if we find ourselves absorbed in material desires, then we should take these problems to the holy name and to our worshipable deities and use the negative to serve the positive. The stronger the negative pole of a magnet is, the more powerfully it can draw the positive. Srila Prabhupada writes, quoting Srila Jiva Goswami's Bhakti Sandarbha 270, chanting the holy name is the chief means of attaining love of Godhead. This chanting or devotional service does not depend on any paraphernalia nor on one having taken birth in a good family. By humility and meekness, one attracts the attention of Krishna. That is the verdict of all the Vedas. Therefore, if one becomes very humble and meek, he can easily attain the lotus feet of Krishna in this age of Kali. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antilila 4.71 purport emphasis added. Turn the vacuum, the material desire, the lack of taste into a prayer for help and take real shelter of the holy name. Oh Krishna, just look at my heart. Oh holy names, look at my heart. It is empty. I have no taste. I am dependent on you as I take shelter of you in the holy names. It is good to go to the holy names empty and beg Krishna's name to fill you. Srila Prabhupada exemplified this mood at the end of the poem he wrote on this arrival in America. I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. I have been designated as Bhaktivedanta, and now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhaktivedanta. If you go to Krishna in the mood of taking full shelter, understanding that you have no capacity on your own, then you have learned the art of spiritual life and can turn misfortune into fortune, powerless into power. When I visit certain holy places or temples, I feel strong emotions and often cry. Where do these emotions come from? I then find myself trying to feel the same emotions later. Is this all right? Or am I trying to enjoy my senses in the name of spiritual life? Imagine a curtain hanging over a window. The thicker the curtain, the less light will come through into the room. In the dham, the curtain or veil between the material and spiritual worlds is thin. Therefore, it's quite natural to feel spiritual emotion in the dham. But you say you are trying to feel the same emotions later and you wonder if this is okay, or are you trying to enjoy our senses in the name of spiritual life? It is important that we don't become peak experience addicts. It is very dangerous to our spiritual life to want only peak emotional experiences at all times. It's also dangerous in material life. We can use marriage as an analogy. A newly married couple goes through a period we call the honeymoon. But there is no honeymoon after the honeymoon. Marriage means duty and mutual respect. And when one is dutiful in marriage, one finds a more proper and much deeper affection for one's partner. If we want spiritual life to simply be a series of honeymoon experiences, then perhaps we will find ourselves going from one guru to another, one moment to another, one dham to another, and nothing will be enough to satisfy us. The problem with this mentality is that we ourselves remain the center of our concern. But we are meant to serve Krishna no matter what experiences we have. What we want to understand from truly spiritual experiences is that we are servants of Krishna and completely dependent on Him. By His grace, even though we don't deserve the spiritual happiness that is bubbling up inside us now, we accept it. But we understand that we are receiving the mercy of the Dham, of our Guru, and of the Vaishnavas. Instead of thinking how to get more spiritual emotion for me, and me, we should shift ourselves to a service mentality. How can I offer something in gratitude to my spiritual master, to the holy Dham, and to the holy names? So, the way we can discern whether we are engaging in sense gratification or having truly spiritual experiences is by measuring whether or not we feel a deepening desire in our heart for service. This is the foundational principle of spiritual life. We are servants of Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Hai Nityera Krishna Das. Other than this, our quest in spiritual life is to become more and more deeply immersed in humble and loving service to Shri Shri Radha and Krishna and their devotees. The result of this lowly position is that the spiritual energy will bestow on us more spiritual emotion and pleasure than we can imagine from our present point of view. As to where these emotions come from, they are natural to the soul, but they come by the mercy of the Dham, the holy names, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the devotees, and Srila Prabhupada. They're simply mercy. We are not qualified for anything. Therefore, they are the gift of Mahaprabhu because he uplifts and uplifts the unqualified. Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatara Mosama Patita Prabhu Napaviara. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared as an incarnation to deliver all fallen souls like us and directly bestow upon us love of Godhead. As soon as we think we are qualified for such mercy, we should know that the false ego is expanding. Hare Krishna, I'll stop here. So there are these two very important questions, right? The first one was like, I feel vacuum. This is the common feeling, right? When we sit down to chant, in the beginning, we may be able to focus a little bit, but very soon, before we know it, our mind is already running around. And then, moving from thoughts to thoughts to thoughts to things to things to things, So what happens is really our mind is not accustomed to be even in the mode of goodness. Like mostly while chanting, I'm just speaking for myself, it's really in the mode of either passion or ignorance for the most part. Because passion is like where you're always constantly thinking of one thing to another, like a monkey, like the mind is jumping from one thing to another. Or if you're really, really super tired, then you're in the mode of ignorance because you're just layer, right? The focus is not there. And then our mind is not used to be in the mode of goodness where it is so calm that it doesn't want anything else. So this is where, in so many other sampradayas, also wherever there is this yoga or wherever there is meditation focus, right? That is what the training is done, like really forcing the mind to stay in that space of vacuum, like stay in the space of goodness where it is satisfied. It's not looking for something else to distract, not looking for some sense gratification or anything, because really our mind is trying to get happiness by the distractions and feeling good. That's really the core thing where our mind is trying to feel good. And when we are in that vacuum state, it is not feeling good. But that is also a training, actually, that where if we stay put in that mode, and then we are able to be connected with the holy names. And then, of course, Krishna is in the holy name. But all of that can happen only when our mind is able to stay fixed in that mode of goodness or the vacuum state or whatever that is called, that stay put. But again, that requires a lot of practice. And that's what is being said, that The really nice way to go is that we just beg to the holy name that, look, I cannot focus. I cannot even stay put. My mind is just running around. Can you please help me? So it's really by the mercy of the holy name, Nama Prabhu, that we can even focus. The really the experiences of all of these, I feel I have felt personally in my life is during the Japa retreats, right? Because you are just sitting there chanting all at least minimum 64 rounds. So when you're just sitting there, you're forcing your mind over and over. How many set of rounds are you doing, right? So then your mind just knows, okay, there is no running away from here. I just have to now sit and focus. So those are the times where I have found that sometimes I also feel, that the 16 rounds is not enough actually for the mind to really get that exercise of getting in control. But of course, with our daily routine and chores and everything, at least for me, right, I cannot do more than 16 rounds. But honestly, I feel that if we have to really get this exercise and all that, we have to do more than 16, like we have to keep on doing more and more and more chanting. That's the only way where our mind is going to get control. Like, as I said, with the example of the Japa retreat, where you're just sitting there and all day you're just chanting, your mind does come under the control. I can just give you like a simple example, okay? So I've had this frozen shoulder for a couple months now, and then I went for physical therapy. So she'll keep telling me when she's trying to move my arm, relax, relax, like don't try to fight against it, when she's moving my arm, but it's painful, right? So I keep fighting against it. But the last session when I had it, she did not let me go. Like she kept the arm in a certain position where I could feel I was fighting. And then there was no option. Like I had to let it go. Like my arms, like felt that I had completely relaxed. And then she could completely like move it on, like get it released, right? The tension. So I totally connected that like with the chanting, like where our mind is fighting and fighting and fighting, but then you keep at it. And then at one point, there's no option. The mind has to let it go, and then that's where the mercy comes in. And you can just feel it, like the blessings of the holy name will just come in, and it just gets like completely, like your mind is like completely filled with that mercy and that humility, gratitude, and everything just comes in. But that to take to that position, as I said, it really requires that practice, just speaking from my own personal experience. But that's exactly what was given here. And then the second question asking about the holy dham and those experiences, again, same thing. Going to Vrindavan the first time with Guru Maharaj and the whole team was such a blissful experience. Yeah, like really, like completely you could feel the mercy, just downpour of mercy even till today. Like when I recollect the mercy in holy dham, we can never compare that to anything else. But again, it's because the veil is very thin. Krishna is right there, his mercy is right there, all the devotees, and Maharaj is right there. So yeah, those experiences can never be compared. But of course, it's not like you are always trying to seek those experiences. But it's even while chanting, Guru Maharaj was always saying that the goal is not for us to always have the peak experiences, right? Even while chanting, but rather understand that this is a service. It's not like the day before when we do the sankalpa, oh, I want to connect with the holy name. And then the fear, what if I don't connect with the holy name? It's not in our control. Though it's completely under the control of Krishna. So if he wants to connect with us, let that experience, have that experience, he will give it to us. But if not, it's still okay. I'm still going to be chanting because all of this time, purification is still happening. So it's not about me getting those experiences or feeling that highs, right, in the experiences of chanting or anything, but rather it's really truly a service, no matter what experience, whatever happens.